Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll see how we can create a Lambda function locally and then deploy on AWS. Before that, we first need to install serverless offline on our machine, and then we can run the Lambda using serverless offline command. Let's go ahead and create Lambda. I have created in which we have serverless YAML file that we basically have used for other comments like the service name, the framework version. This is basically the template, service template that we are using. Plugins, what we'll be using the Lambda function locally. The specifications about Lambda, provider, the runtime that we'll be using, Lambda hashing version, the stage region in which we'll be deploying this Lambda. By default, if we don't specify any region, then it takes US East1, and by default, stack name that's going to be created when we deploy this Lambda. The deployment bucket, what Lambda does it, what serverless does it basically zips the whole Lambda code. It puts all the code into this bucket. We have already created one bucket for these serverless deployments where all the Lambda code will, all this project basically will go this bucket. The function specifications, that is the name of the function, and the events. So basically for now we are targeting endpoint, that is a get endpoint, and with the user the path parameter, basically the endpoint will be localhost /3000. By default the port is 3000 user, so it will be a get endpoint. Let's go to hello, which we have specified the hello function, which is an async function taking event and context Lambda, and what it is returning is it is called the body in a stringified format, the message, and this will be the payload that will be basically returning as a user. We can apply any logic that we want to, we can specify here logic, or we'll say business logic. Then we'll go ahead and do it in the later videos, but for now keep the scope limited so that we can get short video, so that it should not be boring, it should not get boring. Yeah, this is the function, and to do that we have to install serverless offline PMI, basically PMI serverless offline. This command should install the serverless offline, but I have already installed this. I can also use -g that will install globally, serverless offline version globally. I have already installed it, so I won't do it again, but please say serverless offline. It has started the offline and the two endpoints. So this is basically the default endpoint which is provided by the serverless, and the Lambda function is the get endpoint that we have created. So let's go ahead and copy this and try to hit in browser. So here it says hello from Lambda user cloud projects. Command, this is basically request that we got from the browser. Request got completed within 67 milliseconds, as there were no, it's just simply a get request with a static data that we have specified in the Lambda functions. Now let's go ahead and deploy this on AWS. To do that, we simply have to just stop this and we'll use the serverless deploy command. That will be serverless deploy stage dev. This will be deploying a Lambda function AWS basically, and then it is done. We'll come back and see how it's got deployed. So it has started the deployment, and it is using this bucket to upload the zip file of project. It is creating a stack. If we go to AWS, we say cloud formation. And creating might be it is definitely creating a template and creating the resource. By default, it is taking North Virginia, and this is the name which from our serverless. Here, service name hyphen stage. Service name is this, and stage is dev. It's taking serverless offline tutorial dev. Go into it. See events where is performed. Role created, API created, log group created, role created. Completion till now. This is probably completed. Let's create complete. Now let's go ahead and see if there is Lambda. We may see one function which is my first Lambda dev. Yeah, this is also here. We have an endpoint of this Lambda. This earlier it was less user. We have deployed it to cloud response Lambda projects. You see the offline version and the online version, both the responses are same, but it is deployed on AWS. It is running from local. You see here function. Once if we have CloudWatch logs, we have not specified any log, but we should see some logs in this log group. We got one invocation. Go to CloudWatch logs group to see the logs of the Lambda function which ran once. This browser log groups, and so for what Lambda does is for every Lambda it creates one log group which is inside AWS /lambda / my first Lambda dev. Is started and then the duration it took is 79 milliseconds. The duration for 50 milliseconds, and memory is the side memory was GB by default, and it has used the 55 MBs. The duration it took to instantiate the Lambda is deployed this Lambda and ran it from local and then deployed it on. The similar way, if we want to create multiple endpoints, simply we need to say one more here. Simply say post user create post request. You want to specify the memory Lambda, then we can, let's say 56 bits. Since there is no logic, the Lambda can be run in this memory itself. Default timeout also we can specify. There are various things about this Lambda we can do. Search here for this Lambda. So it has given the configuration here, the runtime, the memory size, the timeout, the memory size. Timeout is 10 seconds by default, not by default. The version function to enable any tracing. Other way we can specify here as well as at the provider's level. So here we are specifying this particular configuration to this Lambda functions. We can create multiple Lambda functions here if you want. In the same repo, let's say hello1 and it says hello2. Second Lambda. So this is again user slash dash, and this is dash. Example that this should not be the case, but the endpoints we need to so we can have two lambdas deployed. So let's go ahead and deploy this as well. Command serverless deploy hyphen dev. What this will do is it will override the existing lambda and change the URL to this new endpoint, and will deploy in one more lambda. Now we have here two lambda, only one lambda. We have only one lambda deployed, but right now we'll have two lambda with different names. My first lambda, my second lambda dev. Let's see, it has reached. It is executing deployment. Now it will be overridden with a new endpoint and one more will get created. This in action. It has started uploading the bucket. There are various possibilities using serverless. So right now we are considering the Lambda function, and where we have seen how we can deploy Lambda. We can execute Lambda from local. That is basically for while we are developing and how to deploy it. So both ways we have seen here, and it is quite easy to have multiple versions of that Lambda. The stack where it is reached progress because it is updating the we have two lambdas now. We have two endpoints. Those endpoints will it has used the same API gateway with different endpoints. So we can test both the endpoints first. Now go to V1. It's the same response. We should. This is one create something like this. Create one more. And the dot. This would have taken two separate functions individually, so both have independent logic. This way also we can do it. Here we are done with today's video, where we have seen deploying and running Lambda from local and then deploying it to cloud. We have seen how to deploy multiple Lambdas in the same repo or in the same code in the same project with multiple functions. If you like the video, please hit like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.